What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pokemon Masters EX video. My name is Charlie, and today we are going to talk about RAIHAN and Duraludon, their moveset, sync grid, best sync builds, team builds, who they could work with, and who could work with them really, really well, and lucky skills, all that fun stuff, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into it. It's not up on Game Press yet as of recording this, so we're going to Absolutely and Lost Mode's infographic here because it's got everything we need anyways. So if you want to check out the stats, we do have the level 135 stats to look at now. So we've got the health at 779, which is really good. Physical attack at 380, 134 for physical defense, 390 for the special attack, which makes sense because he's a special striker, and 108 for special defense, which is not amazing, and 172 for speed. Now let's check out the passive skills. Passive skill 1 is Stand Fast 9. Reduces recoil damage received from using moves that have recoil in the effect pack, which is perfect because his main move does a lot of self-harm, like recoil damage. That's not good. But this helps out quite a bit. And so I did the calculation for this. If you have him at 135 maxed out health, 779, you're only doing like 77 to 78 points of damage to yourself. So it's manageable. It's very manageable. Especially with some of the supports that we're going to put on teams with him that are going to work best for him. Passive number 2, we have Ferocious Entry 4, which substantially raises the user's attack and special attack when the Pokemon enters a battle. Passive 3, Head Start 1, which reduces sync move countdown by 1 when a Pokemon enters battle for the first time. And so we'll go ahead and check out Steel Beam, which is his first move. And he's a special striker, Steel type, weak to fighting type, just in case you guys need to know that. So he's not weak to fire, he's weak to fighting. Keep that in mind. Steel Beam, 4 gauge move attack, special attack. 4 gauge. Not the first 4 gauge move for a steel type. We've already got Steven and Gloria that also do 4 gauge moves, I believe. Yeah, that's true. And so, 199 to 238 power, accuracy of 95, so keep that in mind, against a single opponent, and the effect is, of course, recoil. The user takes damage equal to half of its maximum HP. The damage is taken even if the attack fails. So if you miss, it fails, you're still going to get that recoil damage. So keep that in mind. Next up, we do have Dragon Pulse, 3 gauge move attack, special attack again, 100 to 120 damage. So it can be in 100% accuracy against single opponent, and it just does damage, no additional effects. So you can use Duraludon as a Dragon Striker. Even though there are other Dragon Strikers in the game, there's some pretty good free-to-play options as well when it comes to Dragon Strikers, so I would not necessarily recommend him for a Dragon Striker build, but we're going to go over that as well. Next up, we do have Rock Slide. So he can be a rock, this is a physical attack, a physical rock-type striker. 3 gauge move attack, 105 to 126 damage, 90% accuracy against all opponents, and it has a moderate chance of making the target flinch, so that can be an AoE flinch. You can flinch not just the opponent that you're targeting. So that's really useful, guys. It's really useful. And then we have Top This, which is the trainer move. Sharply raises the user's critical hit rate, applies the super effective next effect to the user, applies the free move next effect to the user, makes the user gradually heal itself, but it does lower your special defense. And your special defense is already at 108, so it's not amazing. So try not to get hit. That's all I'm saying. He does have his 6-star EX available. Words. So his sync move can become an AoE sync move. And it is called Storm Clout Steel Beam. It does 250 to 300 damage, depending on how powered up he is. And against single opponent, of course, unless he is 6-star EX. And right there's his little EX outfit. Looks really cool with the gold phone. Just saying, I'm jelly. I want a gold phone. I want a gold Porygon phone. His theme skills are Steel Strike, Galar Strike, Gym Leader Strike. Well, just Steel, Galar, Gym Leader, Gadgeteer, and Passionate Spirit. So he can work on a Gym Leader team, which is pretty cool. Galar, of course, is probably going to be his main team, and he can also work well on a Steel team with, we'll get into team builds in just a sec. So what kind of lucky skill should we get for him? Critical Strike 2 would be probably the best one, I think. If you aren't able to get Critical Strike 2, you're not able to get Critical Strike 1, or like Power Flux 3, or any of those like attack boosters, you can go for a defensive with a, I think it's the Chewy Lucky Cookies, where you can do like a fighting, like you get rid of your weakness to fighting, essentially. You could put Vigilance on him as well, I think. Yeah. Just to protect him from critical hits. But with that little defense, I don't really see a point in doing that. Critical Strike 2. Just be the one to go with, guys. As far as team builds go, I would recommend, of course, Leon. Leon's great for any Galar team because of his Master Sync Pair skill. You have Steelix for a great skill type support. But he does have on his sync grid the ability to withstand the Sandstorm, because it's one of the main moves he does in the game, Sword and Shield. And he has a really decent Sandstorm build. So he's got Sand Shelter, Surging Sand 3, all sorts of stuff. We'll get that into the sync grid. So you could use Palisand for Sandstorm. You could use, I believe it's Tech, Egg, Kabutops, who also has Sandstorm. If you have that, you can use it as another Sandstorm unit, which is pretty good, not gonna lie. I'm building that up right now. Hopefully I get Raihan and I can showcase it, but we'll see. And when it comes to a Steel type, you could, because he can get like a free move next, it would be interesting to see him on a dual Steel Striker team. Either with probably Steven, although you do have another Steel Striker in Gloria with Zacian, so that would be pretty interesting too, because then you would get Steel, you would get Galar, and you would get the oh well, I guess that's about it, huh? Yeah, Steel and Galar, but that's still pretty good, man. And with Leon on the team too, that would be pretty cool. Don't know how long it would last, but it would be pretty cool. Speaking of lasting, Misty and Starmie would be a great support because of the X defense all, and ability to heal and increase evasiveness with catches if you can. Eevee and Leaf would be another great support. On the free-to-play side, aside from Misty, you also have Xerneas, who can also increase special attack, special defense, and speed. Really, really useful. And move gauge as well, so that's really good too. And he has the ability to heal him as well. So there's a lot of really good team builds that you can do with Raihan and Duraludon. Let me know down in the comments what teams you think, what supports, what techs would be really useful, or what striker builds, like a team full of strikers, would be work really well with Raihan and Duraludon. Let me know down in the comment section below. And we're gonna hop right into the sync grid. This is the 1 out of 5 sync grid, and it is, you get pretty much everything for a certain build. Like we're going for the Steel Beam build here. Grabbing the accuracy +5, +3s for the Steel Beam attack. We are getting a special attack +20 here because of that +5 and these two +5, or that +10 and those two +5s. But we are getting Dragon Pulse Move Gauge Refresh 3, might as well. And it comes with the Sand Shelter, so you can do sand teams with him immediately, which is really cool. And you get an extra rock, you get a rock slide accuracy +5, which is pretty cool as well. So you can do a rock slide build. This one right here is essentially a steel beam build, but if you want to do that rock slide build, you just need to do that. And then if you wanted to do a dark pulse build, you could do something, or dark pulse, dragon pulse build, you can do something like that. But yeah, it depends on, at 1 out of 5, who you're going up against, who you want to use them against. If you want to use them against a dragon weak opponent, use the dragon pulse build. Steel weak opponent, steel beam build. Rock weak opponent, you can use the rock slide build. If you want to try to flinch with the rock slide, using him as a sort of like a tech striker, then you could do that as well. And he does have unflappable, so that prevents him from flinching, so that's pretty good. Pretty good so far. If you wanted to get rid of one of these, you could do the HP or the speed, and then go for a full, like, attack build. But I always think that grabbing the speed's a little bit more necessary. That's just me, though. And remember, guys, none of these are, like, set in stone sync grids. You can play with them. Like, I'm not gonna come to your house and tell you to use it. Just use this as a template, and then go forward from there. Alright, next we have the 2 out of 5 steel beam build. At 2 out of 5, it actually gets pretty interesting, because we do have a steel beam move gauge refresh. We've got more steel beam power-ups. We do have pinpoint entry, which raises the user's accuracy when the Pokemon enters battle. So that is pretty good. With the plus 25, or with the plus 5 to accuracy, so you're already shooting at 100% accuracy. Your accuracy can go up even more, just in case your opponent lowers accuracy. Something stupid like that. You can use pinpoint entry. You do have a top this MP Refresh 2. Not an amazing multiplier to get, like, a chance to get top this again, but it's alright. It's alright. I'm not upset about it. You do have a burst in over here, which raises or ensures the user's next attack will be a critical hit when you enter the battle. So that can be useful when you're trying to do a lot of damage immediately with that steel beam, or with rock slide, or with dragon pulse, whichever. It'll work for all of them. And we're just going for straight up damage with this. Yeah, it's not bad. It's really not bad, you guys. Alright, we'll move on to the next 2 out of 5 build. This one's rock slide build. Again, we did pinpoint entry. We do have rock slide, 2 rock slide plus 5s for accuracy, which is good. That brings it up to 100% again. But again, if they do mess with your accuracy, you do have that pinpoint entry. We do have Sand Shelter and Sands of Time 3, which quickly charges the move gauge in a sandstorm. And then the rock slide plus 4s all over the place. And the unflappable, because we just don't want to get flinched ourselves. I had a really bad experience in Master Mode this past week about almost winning a match, but I got flinched, and it cost me the match. So, yeah, that's why I'm adamant about making sure you don't get flinched. Next up is a 2 out of 5 build for Dragon Pulse. We do get an extra Dragon Pulse move gauge refresh 3, so it gives us move gauge refresh 6, which is the best move gauge refresh for one of Duraludon's moves, just so you guys know that. We did put Sand Shelter on just because we could run this on a sand team to do field effect damage to the opposing team, if you wanted to. Because his Dragon Pulse is already at 100% accuracy, we're not doing pinpoint entry. And yeah, it's a special attack, so we're going with that plus 20 with the plus 10 and the 2 plus 5s for special attack. Yeah, it's pretty good. You do have Stoic 2, which has a moderate chance of raising the user's defense after it uses the move, but there's plenty of other sync pairs out there that can raise your defense. So, yeah, I'd rather save those valuable energy and sync orbs for something like the top this MP Refresh, or Unflappable, or Sand Shelter. Alright, move on to the next one. And now we're getting into the big boys here. This is the 3 out of 5 builds. To 5 out of 5 builds. It's the same. Okay, so with this one, you do get some pretty crazy stuff. Really crazy stuff. For the Steel Beam build, you have recoil removal. Completely negates recoil damage when using moves that have recoil in the effect tag. So Steel Beam is completely just a straight up damaging attack. Pretty good. Pretty good. Again, we went for that special attack plus 20, pinpoint entry, and the special beam power-ups. You can go for a grand entry 2, which sharply raises special attack when you enter the battle, but there's plenty of other supports out there that will raise special attack, especially Xerneas, Eevee. You know, these guys are really, really good. But what else you have here is Supreme Entry, which applies the super effective next effect when the user enters battle, and you have the freebie, entry freebie, which applies the free move next effect to the user when the Pokemon enters a battle. So that's pretty good. That's really, really good. You can legit do Grand Entry, Supreme Entry, and Entry Freebie, and just do a good amount of damage with Steel Beam from the get-go. But it does take away from certain things. We did grab the Sync plus 25, even though this is not the Sync Bomb build, the Sync Nuke build. Just because this is like a pure Steel Beam kind of build. Alright, we'll move on to the next one. This one is the Rock Slide build. We do grab both of the Sync Move plus 25s because we have the extra 10. So if we wanted to, we could take those away and do like top this. We could go unflappable, but we don't need the special attack power-ups because we are using a physical attack move with Rock Slide. So you can go Sands of Time and then add some more damage to Rock Slide if you wanted to. But going with the Sync Nuke damage, pretty good. But if you're not using him as your main striker, if you have like a rock type striker like Olivia on your team, and you're just using Duraludon to use like AoE attack, and that's it, and flinching, then yeah, go Sands of Time and the Rock Slide damage, because that's just gonna do. You're gonna get more bang for your buck in the long run of battle if you go that way instead of doing the sync moves, because you're gonna be able to do a lot more moves, which are gonna inflict more damage. With Sands of Time increasing your move gauge refresh. You also have Surging Sand 3, which powers up moves in a Sandstorm, and we have Sand Blaster 5, which powers up sync moves in a Sandstorm. So if you wanted to use him as an actual Sync Nuke striker with the sand build, the Sandstorm team, then Sand Blaster 5 is pretty good. It's going to power up your moves by like 50%, your Sync Nuke by 50% in a Sandstorm. That's really good. It's really good. Alright, we'll move on to the next one. This one is the Dragon Pulse build, 3 out of 5. Again, we went with the special attack plus 20. Supreme Entry to apply the special, because we know it's 100% accuracy, we might as well go for as much damage up front as possible. Unflappable top this, MP Refresh, and then the Dragon Pulse plus 4s, and the Dragon Pulse plus 6, or Move Gauge Refresh 6, essentially. But you do have Focus Rush 1, which raises the user's critical hit rate after using a sync move. We do have Tough Cookie, so the more your defenses been raised, the more it powers up moves, and the Stoic too. Alright, move on to the next one. And this will be the Sync Nuke build, last but not least. This one's a Steel Beam Sync Nuke build, because we're going with a full, like, what would RAIHAN actually use here? And we're using him to his full advantage. So we're using the recoil removal, Steel Beam Move Gauge Refresh 3, Steel Beam accuracy up by 5, so that gives it 100% accuracy. The 2 sync moves, we are using Sand Shelter, because this is going to be used on a sand team, and Sand Blaster 5 to power up the sync moves in a Sandstorm. It's self-explanatory, right? And we grabbed the special attack plus 10. We weren't able to have the special attack plus 10 and the special attack plus 5s, but you know, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Alright guys, I think that'll do it for RAIHAN and Duraludon. Let me know what you think about the RAIHAN and Duraludon in the comment section below. What teams are you going to use them for? Are you going to summon for them? Or are you saving up? It's a tough one. It's a tough decision, so let me know what you think, what you're going to do down in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already seen or missed out on any of my daily Pokemon Masters EX content, and I'll see you guys next time.